Where the roof of North America touches the sky, the Yukon spreads out in a vast sweep of snow, mountains, and rivers. This is a place where the land seems eternal, yet every moment is shaped by the struggle to live. In winter, the northern lights shimmer like ghostly curtains above the frozen landscape, casting pale greens and purples over the valleys. Beneath them lie mountains that have stood for millions of years, carved first by fire from within the earth, and then by the slow grind of ice. The Great St. Elias Range, the Ogilvies, and the Mackenzies rise high, their ridges etched by glaciers that once cut deep valleys and sculpted the courses of rivers. The name Yukon comes from an indigenous word meaning white water, tribute to the mighty Yukon River that winds its way through this territory, one of the last true wild places left on the continent. Through these lands, one of nature's most impressive migrations takes place. The Porcupine caribou herd, over 40,000 strong, begins its journey each year, moving with the rhythm of the seasons. These animals may travel as far as 2,400 kilometers, crossing icy mountain passes, open tundra, and river valleys to reach the distant coastal plains where they give birth. Their coats are thick and layered, insulating them against the cold, and they change color with the seasons for camouflage. Both males and females grow antlers, but the females keep theirs through winter, using them to defend feeding spots when food is scarce. The knowledge of their roots has been passed down through countless generations, and indigenous peoples such as the Gwitch tell of caribou leaders who guide the herd females, steering them across treacherous terrain in the milder months, and strong males breaking trails through deep snow. This migration is more than a movement of animals, it is the beating heart of the Yukon's ecosystem. As the caribou travel, their droppings enrich the tundra with nutrients, feeding lichens and grasses that in turn sustain insects, rodents, and larger animals. But the journey is dangerous. Moving across open valleys or through snow-laden forests, the caribou are always under the gaze of predators. Packs of gray wolves follow them, testing the herd, looking for the weak or unwary. A single stumble, a moment of hesitation, can be fatal. Wolves work together with precision, some driving the caribou toward, others lying in wait, their endurance allowing them to chase for hours. Above, golden eagles ride the winds, scanning the ground for small mammals and sometimes descending to steal scraps from a wolf kill. At night, the Canada lynx moves like a shadow, its large, fur-padded paws carrying it silently over deep snow, as it hunts snowshoe hares, a prey whose population cycles shape the lynx's own numbers. Two foxes share this land, locked in a quiet battle. The Arctic fox, perfectly adapted to cold, wears a pure white coat in winter and has fur even on the soles of its feet. It hunts by listening for rodents under the snow, leaping and diving headfirst to catch them. But the red fox, larger and more adaptable, has moved north with warming winters, taking over den sites and competing for food. Climate change has tilted the balance, favoring the red fox in areas where deep snow once gave the Arctic fox an edge. When the snows begin to soften and the first signs of spring appear, other powerful predators emerge. Grizzly bears, heavy from a season of sleep, may wake early if they catch the scent of a kill. Their sheer size and strength can drive away even a pack of wolves from a carcass. Black bears, smaller but nimble, prowl riverbanks for shoots and roots, and will not pass up a chance at a vulnerable caribou calf. Farther north, when sea ice begins to retreat, polar bears sometimes wander inland, drawn by the scent of food, adding another apex predator to the land. By late April, ice cracks along the rivers and fresh shoots push through the thawing ground. Caribou cows lead the herd toward the Beaufort Sea coastal plain, where the openness makes it easier to spot predators. Here, in a single short week, most calves are born. Bull caribou stand guard, ready to drive off wolves with sharp hooves. The remains from birth droppings, placentas fertilize the soil, encouraging sedges and willows to grow. These plants help feed the next wave of returning life, including Chinook salmon, which swim thousands of kilometers upstream from the ocean, carrying marine nutrients to the heart of the Yukon. Summer here is short but bursting with life. Alpine tundra on the high slopes blooms with wildflowers and lichen. Dall's sheep and mountain goats navigate sheer cliffs, their young born in places where predators struggle to reach them. Marmots make the most of the endless daylight, feeding and keeping watch before their long hibernation. Red squirrels work tirelessly, catching pine cones and hidden stores. In the rivers, the salmon fight their way against the current. An ancient journey that will feed bears, birds, and the very soil itself. But the patterns that have held for millennia are shifting. Warming temperatures thaw the permafrost, causing ground to collapse and releasing stored gases into the air. Shrubs advance into open tundra, altering habitats. Fires spark more easily in the drier, warmer summers. Species like the red fox expand northward, pushing out those that cannot adapt. The caribou, the Arctic fox, and the salmon all face changes in their food sources and breeding grounds. The Yukon stands on the front lines of climate change, and the changes ripple through every part of its web of life. Still, there is hope. Indigenous communities continue to share their deep knowledge of the land and wildlife. Conservation programs aim to cut greenhouse gas emissions, restore damaged habitats, and protect migration routes. Renewable energy projects are being built to reduce the dependence on fossil fuels, and technology helps track changes in the land and water. Restoration of river systems and forest corridors seeks to give wildlife the space they need to move and adapt. In this wild northern world, every creature has a role to play. The caribou on their endless march, the foxes hunting on the snow, the bears emerging from their dens, the salmon swimming home all are part of a story as old as the land itself. The Yukon is more than a place on a map. It is a living testament to resilience, to the bonds between species, and to the delicate balance that holds them together. Its future depends on the choices we make now, so that the next time the northern lights dance over these mountains, they will still shine on a land alive with the footsteps, wings, and voices of the wild.